It's not every day you get to see a police officer owned in the streets, but these corrupt cops got the worst karma as they decided to take the law into their own hands, just like this cop who illegally arrested an innocent individual for exercising his First Amendment.
With your middle finger extended, you said, quote, yelled it, and then said, you, as you drove away.
Oh my God.
Hands on the hood.
Come on.
And put your right hand behind your back.
Oh my God, sir.
Some cops break the law thinking they can avoid accountability, but sometimes karma catches up with them fast. Today we will look at cases where corrupt officers faced instant consequences and got what they deserved. On February 9th, 2018, Gregory Bombard was driving across the street when he crossed a police officer and went over to light his cigarette. Moments later, the officer pulled him over, and you will be stunned to know the reason for the stop.
You need something? You need something? Yeah. No, it looked like you put me off as you were going by there. Looks like you went like this to me as I was driving by you. Were you looking? Did you not do that?
No, you might have thought I might be stretching. I was doing this.
Okay, so you didn't...
No.
Okay, you didn't intentionally do that then.
I thought I flipped you off.
Yeah, it looked like you looked right at me and looked like you stuck your middle finger up in my face.
No, I was doing this. Yeah. You must be really sensitive if the trooper caught someone flipping you off.
Well, I don't need to make it personal, you know. I mean, you looked right at me, and I don't know if you were lighting a cigarette or you had
Well, I had a cigarette,
one.
but I was doing this.
It is shocking to see just how thin-skinned State Trooper Jay Riggin proved to be. Even if Gregory had flipped him off, the stop was not justified. It's a constitutionally protected act.
First of all, I'm not an overly sensitive person, and it's the first time in 12 years I've ever stopped someone who I thought put me off, so I don't like that insinuation. You know what I'm saying? In talking to you,
thought I flipped you off?
I want to make sure that you're all right. Yeah, it's an unusual behavior.
It's unusual behavior.
You may not have been doing that, but I think you can agree that if someone was looking for the attention of a trooper, they're probably going to find it by giving them that type of negative signal. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't know, because I don't understand that.
If somebody were to do that, can we? That may not have been you. Can we agree? If somebody did that for a trooper, they're obviously looking for their attention.
No, I wasn't looking for your attention.
I know. I'm saying if someone did that. I'm trying to put you in my mindset from what I was thinking for a moment.
Trooper Riggin should have just ended the stop right away and let him go, but instead he seemed determined to make something out of nothing. Well,
now that I'm talking to you, I realize that maybe that wasn't the case. Right? You don't strike me as someone who would do that. I don't know that until I have a conversation with you. Agree with that? I don't know you until I have a conversation with you.
Okay, so I have a question. If someone flips you off,
Yeah.
what is the citation? What's the crime?
So if somebody flicks me off,
Yeah.
I don't know if they're signaling to try to get my attention because they need assistance or they need to have a conversation. But obviously, it's not normal behavior, so I'm going to have that conversation. Right? 'Cause it's not normal. I'm telling you, out of thousands of public interactions, I've never seen that. At least it didn't catch my attention, but it was so obvious what she did.
no matter how much the trooper tried to portray this gesture as illegal or suspicious, it is not something that he has the authority to pull someone over for. It is cops like these who cause their cities massive lawsuits.
So I won't take up any more of your time.
Well, I'm going to file a complaint with you.
You're more than welcome to. It's Trooper Riggin out of the Salvas Barracks.
But I don't understand why, you thought I flipped you off.
I was going by there, and your middle finger was extended while you were looking
maybe
at me.
I was doing this.
Well, I also see that you had a cigarette in your hand.
Yeah.
So it's possible that you had one hand up while you're cigarette.
That would be considered freedom of expression.
So
I'm going to file a complaint against you.
So actually, you're more than welcome to. So here's the issue: is that although maybe freedom of expression, it is so unusual that it requires intervention to make sure that you don't need help at the time. Are you trying to signal my attention or something? Okay. So it may be freedom of expression, but it crosses the line. Whereas it is so unusual that it requires intervention. And I'm not going to delay any more than I need to. Listen, sir. Once I realize that you weren't flipping me off, you're free to go. You understand?
The trooper let him go after 3 minutes of struggle, but if you think the fun ended here, you are completely wrong, as things were about to take a turn for the worse.
Now you don't realize I flipped you off.
Once I realize
What if I did flip you off?
Then we have a conversation about what's not appropriate. So I have other things to do than to be...
So if I did flip you off...
Have a good day. Fuck, as he pulled away, he called me an asshole and said fuck with the bird. I'm going to arrest him for disorderly conduct. There are multiple people around there. 240 Song, send me another unit to Brainerd Street in the city.
The trooper desperately wanted this to happen. He was just looking for an excuse, and here he had one. Looks like he has no clue about freedom of expression and has never even read the Constitution.
Okay, so now you're under arrest for disorderly conduct. Get out of the car.
I'm under arrest for
Yeah.
disorderly conduct. What did I do?
All the people there saying, fuck, asshole, all the people there in the public, that's a crime, sir. So get out of the car, you're under arrest.
How am I under arrest for disorderly conduct?
I'm not going to debate this with you. Please step out of the car. You are under arrest. Step out of the car.
How is that disorderly conduct, sir? How is that disorderly conduct?
Although the first
Sir, I
interaction...
just got up.
Listen, mate.
I'm having a coffee.
Listen to me. Ask me a question. Although the first interaction may have been an error, the second one certainly was not. And while your window was down, with your middle finger extended, you said, quote, asshole, yelled it, and then said, fuck you, as you drove away. And all that public there heard it and saw it. So that is disorderly conduct 101. Step out of the car.
The trooper's escalation of this event was scary to say the least, and now he was threatening Bombard of arrest. Just then, he took his rage to a whole new level.
Have a lot of...
Step out of the car. Step out of the car, you're going to be ejected from the car.
How am I going to
Step out of the car.
Can I meet you at the barracks?
No, you cannot.
How
Step out
am
of the car, you're under arrest.
Can I call your
Do not.
supervisor?
We'll be at the barracks when we get there. Step out of the car, you're under arrest.
How am I under arrest?
Step out of the car, I'm going to make you.
But, sir, can you explain to me how that is...
It's disorderly conduct. It is tumultuous behavior. All the motor vehicle traffic there, that's tumultuous. You cannot do that. It's tumultuous. It's profane behavior in public.
I don't understand that.
Step out of the car. I'll lock the door and step out of the car.
Oh, my God, I can't believe this.
Step out of the car.
You're serious, sir.
Walk back here.
Oh, my God.
It wasn't a problem until it became a problem. You understand now?
Are you kidding?
Riggin clearly misunderstood the definition of disorderly conduct. His actions showed that he was unfit for police duty, and his call for backup only highlighted his poor judgment.
Hands on the hood.
Oh, my God.
Hands on the hood.
Come on.
And put your right hand behind your back.
Oh, my God, sir. You're kidding.
Other
My
hand.
car's
Other
running,
hand. Other
sir.
hand. I'll take care of it. Okay.
I cannot believe this, sir. I cannot believe this.
The first one may have been an error, and the second one certainly was
How
not.
is it disorderly conduct? I'm not being disorderly. How is it causing disorderly?
Now, we can maybe agree to disagree, but yelling at and saying with your hand out of the window in front of what probably were dozens of people, if not over 100 people, in very busy Main Street traffic. Now, that's disorderly conduct 101. That first thing may have been an error, but after that, it certainly wasn't. But now I'm wondering, but now I'm wondering if maybe you actually did do that as I thought you originally did, because only somebody who then would have the audacity.
I was smoking a cigarette and I was
you may let me speak now.
It is unclear if anyone heard Bombard's words, but the officer repeatedly shouted them in front of the people on the road. Funny how that doesn't qualify as disorderly conduct.
Audacity to do that. Someone has the audacity. Actually, I've made thousands and thousands of car stops, and I don't remember any time I've ever seen someone consciously put me in the bird. So now I'm convinced that you did, especially that behavior to actually get the end of the stop. Okay, so you are under arrest, and that's the end of the story.
Whatever. I don't know what to do here, so I'm going to...
What we're going to do is just be compliant.
Well, I am, but I'm not going to answer my questions, I guess.
I'm
worried about my car.
I'm not intending to ask you the questions.
I'm worried about my car, sir.
Jeff, could you stay in there?
Sir, can you please... Can I please go?
No. Nope. That ship sailed.
Oh, my God, I can't believe it. Oh, my God.
I'm all set now.
So what happens to my car?
Well,
Man.
it says no parking on the side of the street, so it's going to get towed.
Where? Where does it get towed?
I'll give you a record of your preference. Come back over here.
Can I get my personal bag?
I can grab it for you, but you can't grab it. You understand you've been arrested, right? So you don't just you don't just get to drag around your car now, right? I mean, you can't take around there. You've been arrested. You're in custody. So
all right, whatever.
It turns out the entire department is filled with idiots who know nothing about the law. The trooper discusses the incident with another cop, and he completely agrees with what he did.
I drove by him, and I saw his middle finger extended at me.
Really?
So I just wanted to have a conversation with him. Like, you need to what's going on? Do you need help? Right? I mean, totally unusual behavior. What's going on? He denied doing it, so I said, okay, maybe you didn't do it. And then...
He absolutely did it, officer.
Yeah, absolutely did. So then when we got to the car before he left, he, out the window, yelled, asshole, said, "Fuck you," and put me off in front of 100 people.
Great. I will meet you at the barracks.
It's outrageous.
I'm going to have Candy sit with this.
Okay. Yeah.
We're going to the barracks.
Right.
The poor victim was taken to the police station, where he was charged with disorderly conduct and was released after an hour in custody. The charge was also dropped some weeks later. However, Mr. Bombard didn't stop there and filed a lawsuit against the trooper and the city of Vermont. Ultimately, the city settled the case for $175,000, proving that Trooper Riggin is incompetent. This officer caused his city a massive lawsuit, but this next karma was even sweeter.
Well,
As long as he has that fishing pole in his hand and he says he's going fishing, he can carry a firearm on it.
okay.
An open firearm?
Open carry firearm.
Yeah.
That-
In July of 2024, a YouTuber who goes by the name of The Armed Fisherman was heading out to fish openly carrying a gun when a couple of police officers pulled him over and began to intimidate him.
What's going on, bud? Happy New Year. Going fishing right over here.
With weapons like that?
Yeah,
Yeah?
it's
Those real?
absolutely,
Those are real.
absolutely.
Okay. Drop your fishing rod.
Hold on. Under Florida State statute,
Drop your fishing rod.
We're gonna make sure we're safe.
We're going to make sure we're safe.
we are safe. Hold on. You can't.
We're not
Just
safe.
relax.
Hold on.
We're
I
not
got.
saying you
there-
can't have them.
Hold on.
There is
Hold
no-
on.
there is no open carry law.
There is.
There is no open-
under Florida statute. Hey, excuse me, sir. If you,
Just relax.
sir, if you want to look in my backpack right now, there's the Florida statutes in my
Then you
backpack.
can open carry with
Yes.
the AR-15?
Yes, sir.
There is?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I want to see the Florida State look for that.
Hey, can you reach in my bag?
Huh?
Not with the small gun.
Small and large, it doesn't matter. While I'm engaged in fishing, hunting, and camping, going to and from such an event,
Really?
under Florida State Statute 790.25,
Okay.
Section 3,
Yeah.
subsection H,
Yeah.
it is completely lawful for me to do this.
To walk on the sidewalk with an AR-15
I can walk,
open carry.
going where I'm going to go fishing, yes, absolutely.
Michael knew exactly what he was doing. As an activist, he knew the Florida statute that permits open carry while fishing or hunting. However, the officers clearly were not familiar with the law.
I can take the. I haven't been aggressive.
Nobody says you have.
All right.
Oh, then what are the
just
cuffs
being-
for?
right now you're just being
What are the
fake.
cuffs? What are the cuffs for?
You have an armed
safety.
AR.
I'm not. I haven't pointed a gun at
Nobody
anybody.
says you
fine.
did.
Then why am I in cuffs?
Just relax.
For safety.
Okay. You want to?
You're-
Where do you want to go?
I don't want to walk anywhere. I want to stand right here.
Okay, all right.
I
So
do
how
not.
did these come off?
No, because you
Are
have
they
to.
loaded?
The AR is not. My handgun is.
Okay.
And I do not consent. I am going to go ahead and my first, my second,
have a CCW
my
permit?
fourth, and my fifth.
You have a CCW permit?
I'm not concealing a weapon. Even
Okay.
if I was,
Okay.
the statute allows me to carry a
To open carry.
absolute.
Okay.
Or if I wanted, while I'm fishing, hunting, and camping, I can
carry a firearm, a sidearm.
side and long gun.
Oh,
It
yeah?
doesn't matter.
Okay.
You can carry a hunting gun, but
No,
not
it's a hunting gun.
Okay.
yeah, but not the pistol.
It doesn't matter.
It does.
While you're in this,
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
we're
We'll
gonna.
double check.
Everybody's gonna learn a good, valuable lesson
So
today.
Okay.
Well, that would be great. We would.
The poor guy was handcuffed without any questioning, despite being nothing but cordial. He quickly began giving the officers a much-needed law lesson.
My first is me recording you
Do you
guys.
have an
So
ID in here, sir?
no, I do not.
Just your social security number?
Just look at the Florida statute, and we can go ahead and move forward from
So you
this.
don't have an ID.
I don't know if I have an ID on me. Normally, I don't carry it because I'm not doing anything illegal. And-
If you know
no,
the statute,
I do.
Florida, you're supposed to carry an
You
ID
do
on
not.
purpose.
If I'm
Yes,
doing
you
some,
do.
if I'm doing something illegal, yes, I have to provide that.
That's not true.
It is 100% true.
Anytime law enforcement starts out, you have to
It
provide
is-
identification.
Some.
Okay. We'll go over it.
Yeah, we're gonna go over it. I would
You're
like.
a good lawyer.
The fisherman had a better understanding of the law than the officers. He repeatedly urged them to check the statute, but they refused to listen, continuing to bully him instead.
So right
You
now.
ever see any other people walk around with a gun
Have
open
you-
in the
yes.
state of Florida?
Yes, I have.
On their side, open like
Yes.
you carry?
Yes, absolutely.
Really?
Yes.
When?
Let's see, June 24th.
Yeah. How many people? How many people?
There was 7 people on June 24th. There was over 40 people at Miami Beach on October 28th.
Yeah, on the beach carrying an open gun.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I can show you videos of
Okay.
it. If you want to look at your phone, you can.
We'll
you can
double
look.
check. We'll double check.
It's so
And if
funny.
I'm wrong, I'll apologize. To
Yeah,
you.
and I promise,
Okay.
you
Yeah.
will get a call. And
Okay.
I actually open carry right over here by your substation.
Okay.
Day in and day out, dude.
Okay.
It's so funny like that, and it's so funny that you guys don't know your laws.
Okay.
Did you know the same Florida statute I'm talking about allows you to open carry your statute? I think it's under L.
What?
The fisherman was stopped and harassed under the guise of officer safety. Now, it makes you wonder just how many people's rights are violated in the name of officer safety.
Why do we have a CCW? Why do we have a carry concealed permit?
Because
in
that
the
was
state of Florida?
adopted. That was
Why do
adopted
we
in
have-
1987.
So why do we have a CCW then?
That's only
Carry and conceal in the state of Florida.
that's if I
Which
want to
means you
conceal
can't
it.
You can't open.
if I want to
They
conceal.
wouldn't have that law then.
But they also have another different law
Okay.
that clearly states the same reason you get to open
And-
carry
and
your
no-
firearm.
No, because we're law enforcement, sir.
No, I know,
We're-
and that's in the statute.
okay.
It's
right.
in the statute.
Not
If-
for citizens.
I'm gonna as soon as I get
Okay.
out of these handcuffs, I'm gonna show you the Florida
Okay,
statute
I'll look
that
it up.
after I got my CCW.
Okay.
They handed me a pamphlet with the 790 statutes.
So you get your CCW to carry. So you get your CCW to carry concealed, but
Absolutely.
you're able to carry your gun open.
While I'm engaged in fishing,
Okay.
hunting, and camping.
Okay. Well, right now.
I would like to get
right
your
now you're-
supervisor
right now
out
you're in
here.
front of a park.
It doesn't matter. It's a
Oh, it doesn't matter.
no, absolutely not.
Well, you're
City
you're not
and
fishing.
I was look
You're not
right over
hunting.
there.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you video, and I've got video of me fishing from this part
Okay.
all the way down to Veterans Memorial
You live in
Park.
Port St. Louis?
When the officers realized they had no grounds to arrest him, they began making some bizarre accusation, hoping to find something to hold him accountable for.
No, I didn't.
Okay, I can smell.
I don't.
Okay.
Dude, now you're trying to fish, and
No,
now
I'm just.
you're
I can smell
fishing.
it. Okay.
Dude, I haven't touched nothing, dude.
Okay.
And I can't believe you just try to insinuate that I've been.
I can smell something. It smells.
Dude,
like
I can smell alcohol.
Oh,
something.
God, you guys are killing me with your freaking insinuations. And
Did you find the law? What was this? Let me see. What was the state statute again?
790.25, section 3.
790.25?
Yes, and then the open carry statute is 790.053, and it does say it is not allowed. But when you look at the
Oh,
790,
it says it's not allowed.
hold on, but you
Now there's another statute. Okay, go ahead.
you have to read the statute.
Okay.
Sir. Just like you have
So
to read
which
the
one says you're allowed? 7905.25,
7.25, section 3.
section 3.
Correct.
Cops even opened the Florida Book of Statutes, but deliberately overlooked the statute that would have required them to release him from cuffs. It is truly bizarre just how ignorant these officers acted.
Michael, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm looking at this stuff that you have, okay?
Yep.
And I'm reading it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it unfortunately ends right at the part where it discusses where you can have firearms. So is there something in here?
It doesn't, any firearm, it doesn't, statute,
Is
AR.
it in here, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Where-
790.25, section 3,
Look,
subsection.
I'm telling
You have
I
to,
don't see it.
you have to scroll through there. The whole statute's there, ma'am. The
You
whole
don't have
booklet.
It open to this because you're trying to make a statement?
No, I have it because I have to try to show law enforcement that they're wrong.
758. Can you 10-9 that? So you do this often?
Yes.
And you come into contact with
I've
this
got
often?
40 videos on YouTube of me going across the state of Florida doing this.
Well, how about with law enforcement?
Yes,
You've been
Miami Beach Police Department is getting sued right now.
Thank you.
So yes, because I'm being
For open
detained.
carry.
Correct.
Okay.
And they are being sued because it is a lawful activity while engaged in fishing, hunting, camping, going to from such an event.
Michael was being illegally detained, and to make matters even worse, the cops did something even more bizarre.
I would like to call my lawyer, please.
That's absolutely fine. I'll
Right
give you a
now.
chance to do that, Michael.
Right now. As soon as I get out of this, and you can let me friggin' call my lawyer.
Absolutely, not a problem.
10-4 clear to signal 12, no tag, no 1025.
No, I do not consent, sir. Do not consent. Do not consent.
48.
If you turn that off, there's gonna be serious repercussions.
Okay.
I do not consent to you removing my camera and turning it off.
Okay.
You guys are fucking clowns.
The officers even stopped him from recording, which is yet another constitutional right of his. However, finally, when the supervisor arrived, he was about to deliver the perfect karma.
My question is, he does have the legal right to carry, okay? But we have the right to stop out, to identify and make sure.
522.
Middle item.
You got the information you need for that flight card?
So
Make
can
sure that-
he
make
open
sure
carry
that-
the pistol as well?
As long as he has that fishing pole in his hand and he
Yeah.
says he's going fishing, he can carry a firearm on it.
Okay.
open firearm?
Open carry firearm.
Yeah.
That's correct.
I knew you could do it with a rifle, but I didn't know about a pistol.
So what we're going to do is you're going to unload his ammunition out of his pistol and out of his magazine right there. Do you have a backpack?
He does.
Put it in his backpack. Okay, and we're going to give this stuff back to him once we make sure there's no round in the chamber of that. And then
It is so refreshing to see someone actually knowing the law and not being a hypocrite. The supervisor took no time in delivering justice and shutting down these ignorant cops.
All right, did you hear me ask the officer to get on the radio?
No, I haven't heard anything because I'm sitting over here with my firearms. They're unloading my firearms right now, which
Well, for our safety,
I'm not going to shoot. I'm not. Who was I? I wouldn't hurt nobody. But anyway,
We've never met you, sir.
you don't have to know who I am. As a law-abiding citizen,
You're going to be free to go on your way. Put
what
that.
was your name, sir?
Thanks for
understand. And I just want to let everybody know on Florida Carry, these guys unlawfully stopped me. They took my camera.
I'm all
turned
for
my other
carrying too,
camera.
as long as you're fishing or hunting.
This wasn't the end of it all, as the sergeant also apologized to Michael.
I've been to Fort Pierce.
How many times have you seen somebody walking around here when they are 15?
Probably twice. And they're all
Yeah,
they're either
the
with
past
me.
20 years.
I'm sorry that
20 years, dude.
20 years. I'm sorry.
This is the city. This is in the
1987, we used to have an open carry law here, and
I
now
know,
Florida
I'm
Carry is trying to
I'm
fight
well
for this
aware
open
of it.
carry right back.
And that's why you're being turned loose and you're on your way.
I'm on my way, but I had to be
Okay.
treated like a criminal in the process.
Well,
And
it all goes with cooperation and common
I was
sense.
trying. I was being cooperative. I walked up, said Happy New Year
you
to
give
these
it to
guys,
them?
Yes, sir.
and that's it.
All right.
So as soon as you guys leave, I'll go ahead and reload my firearms
All
so I
right.
can get on my way and go back.
Yes,
to
sir.
Thank you very much.
I thank you for your cooperation.
Yeah.
You have a safe day.
Happy New Year.
Okay.
Perfect.
Take care.
Still waiting for that apology too,
I
ma'am.
handed it to you, Michael.
I said
You put it
apology.
in your right pocket.
Apology, not business card. You said you would apologize.
I'm sorry you were inconvenienced, sir.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay?
heard that.
I apologize on behalf of the police department. Okay?
Yeah,
Please accept my sincere apology.
I will.
Next, we have this cop who got the much-needed karma in a courtroom.
The court at this time will impose a sentence of 90 days, require you to pay a fine of $1,000.
Sinister cops are always owned and exposed in courtrooms. Their true face is revealed for the whole world to see. Today we'll be going through such moments where these corrupt officers got some brutal karma that knocked them down. Euclid police officer Michael Amiot was on trial after he was charged with assault when he physically used force on an innocent victim after conducting a traffic stop. It didn't take long for karma to hit him.
We, the jury, being duly impaneled and sworn, do hereby find the defendant Michael Amiot guilty of assault, a misdemeanor of the first degree, in violation of Section 2903.13A of the Ohio Revised Code, as charged in Count 2. We do so render our verdict this 29th day of July. We, the jury, being duly impaneled and sworn, do hereby find the defendant Michael Amiot guilty of interfering with civil rights, a misdemeanor of the first degree, in violation of Section 2921.45A of the Ohio Revised Code, as charged in Count 3. We do so render our verdict this 29th day of July, 2022.
Rightfully, the corrupt officer was found guilty on both charges, and the jury did a fantastic job.
That is your decision as to whether you wish to speak with him. With that, anything prior to discharging the jury?
No, Your Honor.
On behalf of the defendant, anything? Yes.
Amiot showed no remorse during his trial, and the very next day he was called back for sentencing. To make matters worse for him, the judge allowed the victim to say some words in front of the court.
My name is Richard Hubbard, and I appreciate the jury and the court for making the right decision. What Amiot did to me was wrong. He should have received the maximum sentences today. I'm still going through the suffering with the anxiety, driving, just the temperament, the trauma, and everything. This is a cause for this case. I'm ready to get it over, actually, but just coming back in here, just bring up everything. Just to see him over there, see all that, just coming back in this court, just it just brings up everything. You live at the moment. So I hope you get the maximum sentences today.
This wasn't the end of it all, as the suspect, Michael Amiot, was also allowed to address the court and apologize. The cunning officer would still not accept his mistake.
One of the most shocking examples was a prosecution witness called who testified that I was celebrating in the aftermath of this arrest. They testified that I was high-fiving, fist-bumping, and dapping it up with other officers. There was 5 police cars on East 228th Street that day, all with their dash cameras on and rolling.
They all had overlapping fields of view. I can be seen in front of one of those cameras the entire time I was on scene until I was transported to the hospital. Nothing remotely close to what the witness described happened with me or any other officer on the scene. They knew this and put the witness on the stand anyway.
There was no regret or remorse on behalf of Amiot, and it was clear that an apology was too much for this ego-driven officer.
I take full responsibility that there was a failure on my behalf to get Mr. Hubbard in custody quickly. The incident was prolonged when I was shot with a taser. During the deployment, I broke my hand, ruptured tendons, and injured my shoulder. I want to end by saying I'm not an advocate for or against use of force. Everything I did on that day was based on my training and experience. From here on out, I'll be an advocate for subject control training department-wide going forward, so we can all be at our best when the time comes. I have a deep respect and love for the citizens and this community. I want to do my best to serve them.
Finally, it was time for the judge to speak, and before announcing the much-awaited sentence, he had some words for the officer himself.
One of the things that stood out to me is that the initiation of this incident probably never should have occurred. When you receive that initial radio communication, that initiated this whole thing. And the other thing that sort of stood out to me was that in approaching the vehicle and asking Mr. Hubbard to get out of the vehicle, there was an inability for him to get out of that vehicle without making contact with you.
The judge, who also happened to be a black man, spoke to the victim and assured him how he should move on from this terrible incident and not let the corrupt officer's actions ruin his life.
I believe the jury got it right. I do. And the court must impose the sentence that the court feels is appropriate in a case like this. And I appreciate if you need assistance, you need to go and get that assistance. But I'm not going to say you're not going to have instances of flashback or what have you, but you need to move on with your life also. And not let this incident continue to hover over you. The city compensated you.
Ultimately, the sentence was announced and Amiot was removed from the court.
Court at this time will impose a sentence of 90 days, require you to pay a fine of $1,000, and will require you to pay the court costs. In addition, the court will suspend the sentence of 90 days, place you on non-reporting community control for a period of 1 year. If you violate during that 1 year, then the court will retain the ability to impose the sentence. Anything on behalf of the state?
No, Your Honor.
On behalf of Ms. Amiot?
Just what count is this in?
The court will use the assault as opposed to the violation of civil rights. Not saying they weren't violated, but given the length of time, the court will use the assault charge. Anything else?
He was initially sentenced to 90 days in prison, but that was later canceled. Instead, he was placed on 1 year of non-reporting community control and fined $1,000. He was also rightfully fired from the Euclid Police Department. This officer certainly earned his karma, but things took a bizarre turn when his qualified immunity was revoked.
He had nothing in his hands, and he was shot twice in
2011, a simple traffic stop turned fatal when Officer Osvaldo Villarreal shot and killed innocent Benny Herrera. After a few years, his family filed a lawsuit against the cop, which eventually led to this pre-trial.
This is a tragic case, there's no question about that. But Officer Villarreal was required to make a split-second life and death decision.
What required him to do that? It doesn't look to me as though he was the initiator.
The fact that Mr. Herrera, first of all, he had been acting erratically before the shots were fired. He moved from a place of relative safety on the shoulder of the road into the roadway. He was skipping.
But if we're talking about Officer Villarreal, how much did he know about the prior behavior?
He saw all of that.
I have to say what you're saying is inconsistent with what I saw on his own camera. That is to say, the point at which he began to get close enough to see anything. Some of that earlier stuff was on the other camera, but not on his.
Shockingly, it only took a few seconds for the corrupt officer to draw his weapon and shoot innocent Herrera, although Herrera was unarmed at the time.
His camera was turned on, but
His
he
camera
testified.
his camera was turned on well before he got to the scene.
He testified in deposition that he saw Mr. Herrera on the side of the road, and then he saw.
Well, he can testify to what he wants to testify to, but I want to tell you what I saw on his own camera tells me that the early part of this he did not see, could not see. That was his intention, you say?
That was his intention, and that's in his deposition.
Again, I'm relying on what's on the videotape, and now this is in Officer Villarreal's car. I hear him say, "Take your hand out of your pocket," and I hear the gunshot almost simultaneously.
Exactly.
They cannot be separated by more than a second.
And that's exactly the time period when Officer Villarreal had to make his decision.
To make matters worse, the officer had been cleared by the police department. It is shocking to realize the level of accountability that these cops have.
Before, he was asked in deposition, well, what were you going to do when you asked him to take his hand out of his pocket? Well, I was going to put him in a control position. That's what he intended to do.
So he's taking his hand out of his pocket.
Yes.
And as he's obeying the officer's command, he gets shot.
But it's the way that he does it, Your Honor. He didn't just stand still and take his hand calmly out of his pocket. Is he doing this peacefully? Or does he have something in his hand that could be a threat to me and is my life in danger?
Well, right.
He had a fraction of a second to make
Well, don't
that
we
decision.
have to view this in the light most favorable to the plaintiff here? I mean, and so if we do what you just said right now, offer two possibilities.
However, the body cam footage made it very obvious that the officer was in the wrong, and the judges also felt that his qualified immunity needs to go.
Here, Mr. Herrera was arguably complying with Officer Villarreal's order to remove his hand from his pocket at the time that he was shot. So, how is it that we determine that we should grant qualified immunity?
Because qualified immunity allows for police officers to make mistakes. It allows for the possibility that officers will make mistakes in judgment, and that's exactly what happened here. Officer Villarreal had a choice to make. Do I wait and see whether there's something in the hand that could kill me, or do I shoot? And he made the decision to fire. We know with the benefit of hindsight, obviously, that was wrong.
It's truly saddening how Officer Villarreal was getting the cops' privilege. There was absolutely no reason to shoot the victim, and he should be getting punished for it. But thanks to the legal system here, he remained on the force without any trouble.
It seems like he had a better vantage point possibly than Mr. Villarreal.
He actually didn't, for these reasons. Officer Miali was facing, from his point of view, he saw Mr. Herrera's back, not Mr. Herrera's front. So he couldn't see, and he testified in his deposition that he couldn't see Mr. Herrera's hands as they were coming out of his pocket. He also, if he had fired, he would have fired toward an apartment complex. Officer Villarreal fired toward a block wall.
I guess the issue I'm having here is that these are arguments, in my mind, for a jury. That certainly you can lay these out, but we're at a very limited scope here. This is not jury redo. We have to determine based on the facts as alleged by the plaintiff. And right. they're gonna say, no, he simply had his hand in his pocket and these officers were coming up on him really strong. They created the tension, they rose the adrenaline, not him. You have to lay out, take their facts, not the facts as you want. You gotta stick with their facts and explain why under their facts, you win as a matter of law.
I agree, Your Honor.
However, things were now starting to look tough for the corrupt cop, and finally, the judges were reaching some sort of justice for the deceased and his family.
As long as the historic facts are undisputed, the question of whether or not Officer Villarreal's actions were reasonable is a question of law. It's not a question that you give to a jury, because we don't want juries second-guessing the very, very difficult life and death decisions that officers have to make.
I agree, but at this stage, again, this is not an argument to a jury. Take those facts. You're saying that as a matter of law, the shooting here was legal.
Yes,
those
it was objectively reasonable. Well, not just those facts. Officer Villarreal knew that Mr. Herrera was a suspect in a domestic violence incident.
Okay.
He knew that he had a gang affiliation, that he was on parole, that he had a warrant out for his arrest. All of those things factor into
on parole. I don't remember on parole. They said
on parole, yes, and there was a warrant out for his arrest.
What do we know about what Officer Villarreal knew with respect to whether he was armed?
We know that dispatch told Officer Villarreal and Officer Miali that Mr. Herrera was not known to be armed.
The judges argued that the officer should at least be tried, as the other party had substantial evidence to challenge his qualified immunity.
Espinosa, the suspect, had refused to put up his hands, had threatened the officers, and an officer believed that she saw something in the suspect's hand, saw him move his arm, and was worried he was going to shoot her. But yet we affirmed the denial of qualified immunity in part because the suspect had not brandished a weapon or spoken of a weapon.
The defense attorney worked hard to portray her client as innocent, but the judge wasn't having it and quickly shut her down.
The domestic violence incident was over.
Yes, and there.
So, I mean, how does that strengthen your case? I mean, that was, if you're arguing that it was an ongoing domestic violence, so.
It wasn't an ongoing domestic violence incident. And it's easy for us to sit in hindsight and say, well, Mr. Herrera didn't have a gun. Mr. Herrera didn't really pose any
I don't think
threat.
anyone here said that one time.
No,
I think what we're focusing on, again, the narrow standard we have to deal with here, and that's what we're dealing with. This is not a jury trial. This is not summary judgment. It's a very limited thing. No one here is raised about the fact he didn't have a gun.
I understand. The trial court did.
After the defense presented their side, the plaintiff's attorney took the stage and raised several crucial questions.
But I think there's no question that he had his hand in his pocket.
Well, and both officers said it looked like he had something heavy in his pocket.
Okay.
All right. And then just before Mr. Villarreal opened fire, Mr. Herrera rapidly removed his hand and moved quickly, it seemed like, toward the officer's car. Why isn't that enough?
Well, because sticking on the undisputed facts, the officers had no information that any weapon was involved in a crime. They were specifically told he was not known to carry weapons.
The attorney made it clear that it was entirely the officer's mistake to escalate the situation to this alarming level.
Opposing counsel that he's entitled to make a reasonable mistake.
Well, if that was the standard alone, then every single shooting case, the defense would argue that an officer is entitled to a reasonable mistake, and that's the end of the analysis. I think for purposes here, one has to look at the facts supporting the plaintiff's version, and he had nothing in his hands, and he was shot twice and killed. We specifically asked the officers about their training, and they conceded, which is included in the cites in our brief.
No matter what the defense argued, the facts were clear. Herrera was dead, and Officer Villarreal was responsible for his death. Still, the defense tried once more to sway the judges.
The jury does not get to decide qualified immunity?
Qualified immunity is a question of law for the court.
You mean, so depending on, the jury has to decide whether or not there's been a constitutional violation, and at trial the jury cannot say to your officer, you're off the hook because you have qualified immunity? That can't be right.
The underlying predicate facts.
I understand that, but I think I'm arguing on your point. If we send this back, I don't think you want to say qualified immunity is no longer available to you at trial.
Absolutely not.
Well, I think that's what you just said. That's why I'm speaking up.
That was not my intention at all.
Once again, the judges stood firm on the right side of the law and shut down the defense attorney's argument.
Everything goes bad for your client. That is to say, if we send it back, if the jury says no qualified immunity, and if the jury comes in with an award of some amount of damages, will your client pay those damages out of his own pocket, or will it be paid by his employer?
It should be 99.9% of the times it's paid by the employer. I don't see why it would be different.
Well, by
in
statute,
this-
California statute says it's paid by the employer unless they're punitives.
Yes,
Isn't that right?
That was what I was going to say.
So that doesn't say 99%, it says 100.
Well, I was going to say, unless there were, if
Unless they're
If
punitives.
there were punitive damages, the city would have the option of deciding whether to pay those punitives.
Moving on, this police sergeant got some quick karma moments after he tried to assault a journalist.
Hello, sir. Hey guys, how are we doing? Do you mind if I get your names and badge numbers?
Officer Goldberg, 4682. Okay.
And your name?
Officer Bastino, 4624.
Thank you.
At this time, you are being arrested. Okay, you're trespass banned from this location, so please put your hands behind your back. Okay.
How am I trespass banned?
There's multiple reports about you. Okay, please put your hands behind your back.
How am I? I'm not going to resist you. I'm not resisting in any way.
That's fine.
I'm not.
Appreciate it. Thank you so
I'm
much.
not going to resist in any way.
Thank you, sir.
I'm not resisting you. When was I trespass banned?
In no time, the corrupt cops went over to arrest him, claiming that he was trespassed from the property. Sean kept recording them from his glasses, exposing these pigs.
I have nothing that could hurt you.
Thank you so much.
Maybe the camera.
Oh, yeah, I get that.
Check and verify 302.
I just want to make it really clear that this is an unlawful arrest. I never knew I was trespassed from here, and you have to give me the notice that I was trespassed from here before you can arrest me for it. But do what you need to do. I'm sure it doesn't say it anywhere.
Title 22, Subtitle A, Chapter Part 29. Okay, that's why you're being arrested. And these are the two reports.
Title 22, what is that?
Title 22, it's for the video reporting inside that building and not being allowed to.
Sean was illegally arrested for filming inside a public building. Clearly, these pigs have no clue about the Constitution, and Sean has a chance to file another lawsuit against them.
Were you aware that your police commissioner was arrested for police brutality, official misconduct, and perjury? Were you aware of that?
No.
You weren't? Yeah, he was. Doesn't seem like the nicest guy. Tell Ryder I said hi. It's getting hot in here.
Yeah, no
the door
problem.
closed.
Sorry about that. My supervisor's just coming right now to talk to you, okay?
Oh, okay, yeah, no problem.
Just to make sure everything looks the way it's supposed to, and then...
Yeah, I don't think it does.
Okay. I know you don't, because, yeah.
I don't think it does.
Okay, no problem.
Doesn't sound like a law that I could be arrested under, but we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I think you guys were supposed to tell me to leave first and then arrest me when I wasn't left. That's what I'm thinking is supposed to happen.
I understand.
The supervisor arrived and seemed afraid of him despite knowing Sean was handcuffed. He kept warning his partners about Sean's recording as if it were a crime.
Well, we'll wait till you take him out. Okay. Is his cameras and everything off or what?
Close his phone. We should turn off his phone. I don't know.
Turn it off if you can.
Marth told me that he was live streaming it.
Does he have glasses or anything on? Does he have glasses?
He's got glasses.
Maybe the glass. Maybe there's video up on his glasses or something. Take a good look. All right. So if that's the case, you'll take his glasses off and then you can turn. However you have to do it. Okay. But and make sure he's not. Did he have anything else on his body taping?
He's got nothing else. He's just got a t-shirt on.
All right, so maybe, I don't know about these glasses. I'm not tech savvy. So just check the stuff. You and Craig will take them in. I'm going to stay here with these guys. We'll get this ball rolling. No problems, right? Everything good?
Ultimately, Sean was taken to the detention center where he was booked and locked up.
Yeah, we'll do a complete search when we get everything set up.
350.
The height of police corruption was caught on their body cam during Sean's booking. The sergeant who had arrived earlier physically harassed and threatened another auditor trying to film him.
Hi, how are you? You can put it down. Put it down.
What are you touching?
Put it down.
Why are you touching?
You can tape it.
Why are you touching?
Put it down.
You came to me.
Don't put it in my face.
You came to me.
Put your hands down.
Don't
Put your
come to
hands
me.
down. Walk.
You
I'm
came to
I'm
me.
in the middle of something.
I'm walking.
You walk then.
I'm walking.
Walk.
You don't fucking put your fucking
You don't
hands
put that
on
in my
me.
face.
I didn't put it in your face. I was walking.
Don't put it in my face. Put it down.
Again, you're grabbing.
Keep it down.
Don't fucking
Keep
grab.
it down. Keep your camera down. Not in my face. I don't know what you're going to... That's fine. That's good. You could do that.
Do this too.
Okay.
Fuck you.
Okay. So, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go inside.
Okay.
My name is Sergeant Muchow.
And what's your, it's 692?
Yes.
You got a problem with your fucking hand? Huh? You got a problem with your fucking hand?
Sir. No, I don't.
That's enough.
That's enough. Let him talk. Let him talk. It's fine. It's fine.
It is unclear why these cops have an issue with being recorded when it is neither illegal nor unlawful. Shortly after, the officers muted their body cams and conspired against Sean. He was later released and plans to file a lawsuit against the officers and the city. Moving on, these corrupt cops had to make up fake laws to arrest this auditor.
Now you guys see I got one hand on my camera.
1,
Whoa.
2,
Don't shoot me.
You're under arrest.
Whoa.
In July 2016, First Amendment auditor Deontay Valentine was filming the public parking lot of the South Carolina Police Department when an officer came over and confronted him.
What's your name and badge number?
I'm Corporal Shrad at the Greer Police Department. How are you?
I'm all right.
Okay. Is there any reason why you're videotaping it? Just curious. You're not in any trouble. There's nothing here other than we got called and told that you were walking around the parking lot. So, any particular reason for it? No, you're not going to answer. So we're just going to have a stare off because I'm recording you and you're recording me. Is that what we're going to do? Do you have your ID on you?
Have I done anything wrong?
Well, you're recording a suspicious activity, which puts this into a category of suspicious activity, which means that Terry versus Ohio, I can detain you until I can determine or deny that there's criminal
Terry v. Ohio says suspicious activity is not enough for reasonable cause for ID.
There's already a call on it, so yes.
So suspicious activity, is that a felony or misdemeanor?
That's a misdemeanor.
No, it's not.
The auditor rightfully decided to be quiet for the first half, letting the cop speak what he wanted to. Imagine the level of this officer who doesn't even know suspicion alone is not reasonable articulable suspicion to detain somebody.
And I can't believe you just sat here and lied.
Go ahead and give me your ID.
Can you call your supervisor to the scene?
I am a supervisor.
I need another one.
Okay.
I need a lieutenant or somebody else.
Okay.
Actually, I'll go and do this type of thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm just curious.
I mean,
hey. Criminal activity, there's nothing to worry about.
So why are you asking for my ID then?
Because you're not answering me. And when you're not answering me, how do I know you're going to film this parking lot to come shoot it up?
It's called the Fifth Amendment, right?
So I can check on that if it's suspicious. And part of that checking is to identify you. So if I can get
it's suspicious, a felony or misdemeanor.
Hi, sir. Again.
To make matters worse, another supervisor arrived on the scene and displayed even less understanding than the first officer.
Name, badge number?
Sergeant Forrester, 301.
All right, how you doing?
Good. How can I help you?
Well, he contacted me, wanted my ID for no reason, so I need a supervisor to let him know that, without any crime being committed, I don't have to present my ID.
Well, he actually got a call on you.
Well, what crime have I committed?
Well, anytime somebody calls in and reports suspicious activity,
it's suspicious of felony or misdemeanor.
It's neither one, but he asked.
Oh, okay, thank you. So he said it was a misdemeanor. So now we have a conflict on which one it is.
We don't have a conflict at all. We have a conflict with
hold on,
you're acting,
whoa.
It seemed as if the officers started to gang up on the poor guy, as one took him by surprise and escalated this simple situation.
Taping our parking lot in today's day and age, that's fine. That's fine. You ain't got to whoa nothing.
Whoa. What's your name and badge number?
My badge number is 201. It's Lieutenant Holcomb.
Whoa.
Holcombe. Now.
Whoa.
Let me have an ID.
This is the intimidation factor right here.
Let me have an ID, please.
What crime have I committed? What crime have I committed?
An ID.
What crime have I committed?
ID. You're gonna be failure to listen to a law enforcement officer ask you for an ID.
What crime have I committed?
An ID?
What crime have I committed?
Have you got an ID?
What crime have I committed?
Videotaping our parking lot and walking around the police.
Is that a crime?
Yes, sir. Right now, in the day and age that we're dealing with, yes, sir, it is a crime.
Wonder what this sergeant was talking about, as filming a public parking lot doesn't warrant a stop, let alone an arrest. However, just as the auditor tried to tackle him with words, this pig did the unthinkable.
What crime have I committed today?
Anytime there's a suspicious person.
Is that a felony or a misdemeanor?
It's a, let me see your ID. You got the count of 3 or you're going to jail.
Now you gotta see, I got one hand on my camera.
1, 2,
don't shoot
3.
me.
You're under arrest.
Whoa.
You're now under arrest. Guess what? That's not a right. That's a right to stay in jail. That's a right to stay in jail. Because if we don't have an ID and name and everything, then you stay in jail until we figure out who you are. So you can tell us who you are, or you can stay in jail.
What
until we
crime
figure
have
it
I
out. Huh? Interfering with the police.
What crime have I committed?
Interfering with the police. Yes, you were.
You guys came to approach me.
Yes, sir. And I asked you for an ID.
And what crime have I committed?
Interfering with the police.
What crime?
Interfering with the police.
What crime? For you suspended for
Listen to me. Listen to me, because I know you're not deaf.
I don't gotta listen to you.
Interfering with the
I was
police.
not.
Yes, you
No, I
were.
was not.
Pretty shocking, to say the least. The poor auditor was in handcuffs, and the cops proceeded to take him to the police station. The camera was still on, and we could hear these cops in the background.
Right here.
There you go.
Like I heard you say something.
What I'll do too is, because I don't know what's on the cell phone or what he's recording. I think that cell phone should go, right?
That would be a good idea.
He knows what he's doing.
That's a good idea. Get a talk with the detective so you get search warrant and download everything on it.
I'm sorry? I've got your phone.
Valentine was taken to the police station where he was booked but soon released. The video was soon released on the internet, and the public started talking about the corrupt practices in the police department. As a result, the police chief ended up resigning just a couple of months later. Next up, here is an idiot cop who soon got some quick karma after messing with the wrong auditor.
Sorry, no, you're trespassing right now. That's why I'm asking you what you're doing.
Trespassing on public property that I pay for?
Yes.
Can I have your name and badge number, please?
Yes.
Barry Dave was walking past the South Padre Island Police Department's parking lot when he started recording the facility. That is when one of the tyrants came over and did something truly bizarre.
This morning she was itching all over.
Yes, sir. Sir. Sir, can we help you? How can I help you, sir?
You can go back to work. That's what I pay you to do, isn't it?
What's that?
Go back to work.
I'm sorry, no, you're trespassing right now. That's why I'm asking you what you're doing.
Trespassing on public property that I pay for?
Yes.
Can I have your name and badge number, please?
Yes. You can also take this.
Officer David Laird was the aggressor who put the auditor in handcuffs without even talking with him. At this point, these pigs have just completely lost it.
Can I have your name and badge number, please?
Yes, you can.
Y'all take this. Before we find out who you are. Okay.
So what is it you're doing back here?
Hey guys.
Your phone is perfectly fine.
Hey
and
guys,
it's on still. See that?
go ahead and call
Step over here.
Please.
We're talking to you. So step over here and tell us what you're doing back here. This is private property, and that's why we're asking you.
How can a police department be private property?
You have an ID with you.
How can a police department be
You have an ID with you, sir.
Ma'am, did you turn my phone off?
You got a...
That's a violation of my First Amendment.
The auditor's Fourth Amendment and First Amendment rights had been violated, and things were about to worsen.
What's your full name and date of birth? What's your full name and date of birth?
Can I please talk to a supervisor?
What's your full name and date of birth?
You guys are working on getting a lawsuit. Can you
So listen, you're fixing to be arrested for failure to ID if you don't identify yourself.
That's a secondary charge. What's the primary
Do you understand?
charge? What's the primary
Do you
charge?
understand?
What's the primary charge, sir?
What is your name and date of birth?
Sir, what's the primary charge?
You are being detained right now.
I'm not going to answer anything. If I'm detained, then I don't have to talk to you. I like my lawyer, please.
Thank you.
And if I'm not detained, I'm free to go.
What is your name and date of birth then?
I like my attorney.
Pat him down, make sure he doesn't have any weapons on him.
Seeing the situation escalate, a supervisor came out and got the incident report from Laird. In a matter of seconds, he was about to take the idiot cop to the cleaners.
He's back here walking by the units recording.
He's just recording.
Yeah. So he's just detained right now. I'll cut him loose, I don't mind, but...
First Amendment right, sir?
Huh?
Yeah, he's one of those. Really?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
No signs restricting me from coming back here, sir. Excuse me, sir. You the supervisor?
So.
You guys gonna let me go now?
Yeah, we'll let you go. Let's take him and walk him over there.
Can you please make sure my phone is still on? If you turn off my phone, I'll be filing a lawsuit against you for violating my First Amendment rights. That phone
Let's
is
take him
my
over.
record.
Cuffs off.
Can you please get my phone first? I want my phone to record this.
What do you need?
That is my
I should
official
look
record. You
walking
cannot
up.
interfere with my First Amendment right. Please bring my phone back. Ma'am? Please record them taking my handcuffs off.
They're gonna take you off the handcuffs.
You gonna calm the fuck down next time?
Oh, I'm very calm. I'm always calm.
You ran up and grabbed me, threw handcuffs on me.
Dave's anger was justified. After being humiliated by his sergeant, Officer Laird now had to face Dave's wrath.
For First Amendment,
I don't know what you're back here for.
You just got yourself in a world of shit.
Go ahead.
You don't need to know what I'm back here for. What did I do, sir? What was your reasonable, articulable suspicion that I had committed a crime, was about to commit a crime, or had just committed a crime?
You're standing around walking back here recording us in our unit.
Oh, so that's against the law? Recording you is against the law. Did you hear that, guys? This was Officer, sorry, what's your name and badge number?
David Laird.
Sorry?
David Laird.
Good, I'm going to get to know it very well.
Okay.
You'll be listed in the lawsuit.
You have that card for that other one?
Yeah.
Soon after this mess, the officers started to get inside the building, hanging their heads in shame. But Dave wasn't going to let the matter slide so easily.
They're already starting to cover up. I need everyone's badge. No, if I'm free to go, I'm free to stay. I need your name and badge number, sir. I need your name and badge number. I need your name and badge number. I need the sergeant out here. I need the lieutenant out here. Or I need the chief of police out here. You guys are not just going to walk away from this. I'm sorry. That officer fucked up big time. Where is he? Where's he or she? Sir, you look like a sergeant. Can you please come over here and talk to me? They're running away, guys, like a bunch of scared rats. Because they know they just stepped in it big time. Now they're just completely ignoring me. You guys are going to pay a lot for this. The city of South Padre Island is going to have to pay for this. Who's coming out to talk to me? They're all trying to ignore me, you guys. They're all trying to ignore me. They know they just stepped in it big time. Who's coming out to talk to me, sir? What? Who's coming out to talk to me?
I don't know, man. I just got here.
Okay, well, you just got here. Now you're in it too. Name and badge number. You should have stopped that officer. I warned him. I warned him that he was fucking up. Okay, guys, there it is. South Padre Island Police. They've all scattered like a bunch of scared rats because they know that they stepped in it big time. I was grabbed. I was roughed up. Okay? And,
None of the officers even dared to step out and have a conversation with the auditor. Dave stood by his word and proceeded to file a civil rights lawsuit against these tyrants and the city. It is still in progress, and we hope that he gets the compensation that he deserves. If you think this cop got the perfect humbling, you won't believe what happened to this next tyrant.
All I'm doing is asking for a form of identification so we can identify who he is. He's refusing.
Go to your first sergeant. Not a problem. Not a problem.
A First Amendment auditor was filming on the public sidewalk near the police station when officers, including Officer Fougere, approached and began to intimidate him.
If you want my name, I'll give you everything. Who are you?
I don't need to provide that.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
If I'm asking you who you are and why you're videotaping our facility, you have to provide me with some kind of identification. So do you have any identification?
To require identification under the law, you need to be able to articulate a crime that I'm about to commit or I have committed.
Okay. You're going around, you're videotaping our state police facility for no apparent reason, and if I'm asking you who you are, you have to provide me with identification.
I don't have to, no.
It's just like anything else.
No, it's not.
Yes, you do.
I don't.
Yes, you do.
In fact, your public information officer already has dealt with this here, and so has a few other officers, so...
I don't care who's dealt with it. I'm asking you for identification because I want to know who you are right now. Well, and I want to know what your reason is for videotaping our facility.
Well, first of all, Supreme Court has covered that filming out in public is perfectly legal.
I don't care what the
And that is not a suspicion of crime, so therefore you have no suspicion of crime.
Listen, you can cite whatever you want.
Right.
Why are you videotaping? That's what I'm asking right now.
I don't have to answer that.
The officer was a straight-up bully who had no clue about the law that he swore to protect. However, his sergeant appeared on the other side of the fence, and that is when he got the shock of his life.
Well, I want to see a form of identification, identifying who you are, why you're outside my facility right now videotaping us.
I don't have to provide that either.
Why not? Why do you feel that you do not have to perform any form of
Because that's the law.
No, it's not. If
Yes,
you're
it
out
is.
here and I want to know why you're videotaping our facility and you have to provide me some form of identification, you just can't come and walk away anytime you want and just come up with your things and fly them over our lot. I want to know who you are and why you're videotaping this right now.
You probably want to get a supervisor or somebody higher up.
Sure, here's my sergeant. He's coming out right now.
And he'll tell you.
Okay, no problem. Hey, Len. He was flying the drone out in front, videotaping. All I'm doing is asking for a form of identification so we can identify who he is. He's refusing.
Go to the first sergeant. Not a problem. Not a problem.
He can videotape as much as he wants. We don't have to get any form of identification.
He can videotape. Not a problem.
All right.
Okay.
So you were wrong?
Huh?
You were wrong?
According to my sergeant, yes, I was.
So you learned something today. That's good.
Okay, don't worry about it. I'm pretty sure. Have a good day.
The corrupt officer was humiliated, and he didn't even try to look back as he held his head in his hands and shamelessly walked past into his car.
You hear me?
I can hear you.
Sorry for the inconvenience. Right now with the drones, there's a lot of this. I said sorry for the inconvenience. Right now with the drones, there's a lot of, I guess you could say, I wouldn't say misinformation, but it's an area that we're not used to dealing with. All right?
Well, that's apparent. I've dealt with your troopers already on this.
Yeah, I'm sure you have it. Not a problem. That's why I came out here. I saw that he was talking to you, so.
You probably should educate them a little bit more on it. It's going to be a more...
It's kind of an area that's new to everybody, and until they have legislation on it.
Which there is none.
Right. So sorry for the inconvenience, okay?
Alrighty, have a good one.
There's nothing better than seeing a corrupt deputy getting held accountable for his actions, which was all down to the sergeant's brilliance. Well, that brings us to the end of this video. Today we witnessed corrupt and tyrannical cops being held accountable by these auditors. The auditors knew exactly how to handle the situation. Some cops were immediately silenced, while others faced lawsuits that would hit them hard. If you agree, please support us by liking this video. Also, if you enjoyed this video, watch how this corrupt officer was owned by a higher authority.
I'm gonna press you on leave.
Oh, please don't.
You're going on. I have no choice.
Please
I
don't.
have no choice.
I'm living paycheck to paycheck right now.